This is Eden, our little cabin in the woods, which is where they go to after the tragedy, the death of the child. And this is a cabin which is actually 100 years old, and I found it in Norway, and this took it apart and transported it here. You want to come inside?
Kalli, I worked with Kalli also since Dancer in the Dark. I think I worked with him early on. I made a lot of films with Kalli, and I'm very happy for his work. He can, with very little, he can achieve a lot.
Lars, are we still looking loosely for what could be any scene? Or are we thinking?
Yeah. But right now, I think this little opening in the woods could be here.
Okay.
The reason why it's they have to kind of be different, all the locations. So that's why we have to sit also, look at some pictures and say, how are we going to model this? Yeah.
To find the spot, which was very difficult. You shouldn't think it was difficult to find a spot in the forest where there's an oak tree, but it was. And we went for many location scouts, and we ended up finding this place without the oak tree. So he built the oak tree, but only the lower part. The rest is done in CGI.
The location for the cabin we scouted extensively because we needed a very distinct layout, and it all had somehow to fit together. And I think we looked at about, I don't know, 25 different little patches until we finally found this one. The good thing about these cabins, they are almost like a kit, you can say, because all the logs are numbered, and we just put it on a truck, drove it down here to Germany, and put it up very quickly.
First of all, it was expensive to build a new one, but you can't give it the patina, that it gets from being a real old hut. No, that was a very good idea.
This is the bedroom. This is an extension we actually built to the original cabin. So we had a little more space to film, and it also called for a separate bedroom in a way. This was a wall, and this was like two rooms, and we cut up this opening here.
I became afraid, and I stopped writing.
What was different the last time?
You can say the veranda is typically American. It gives it a little bit sort of a cowboy style or a western style. And usually in America they use round logs, and our logs are square, but I thought the guy who built it was a Norwegian immigrant. So he sort of built it a little bit, which I'm sure they did, in his own style.
We had to place the cabin there, and that, of course, you had to take a truck in and put it there. And the nature had to grow around it. So we had to place it there in the winter, and then came spring, and that's when all the nature is supposed to come up around the hut, the cabin. And it started doing that, and then suddenly I got this phone call from my German co-producer saying, we have trouble. And I was like, oh, what is it? It's a bird. It's nesting very, very close to the cabin and the location that we had spent months finding. We have to shoot somewhere else because you're not allowed to be within a radius of 1,000 meters of this bird nesting. So what I did was I sent Lars in his camper to Germany again to go on location scouting that same weekend and found another spot.
This stupid stork that suddenly decided to build a nest where we had just made a road to take in the hut. So, but we found another place, and there were no stork, or anyway, no stork that we saw. So.